Today, I'm going to take you through how I publish pins with bulk and fast and easy. Let's go ahead and jump into Pinterest first. So in my Pinterest account here, we go to the hub up here, we hit create content, and we're going to hit organic pin. This is where I create my pins. The first thing you need is an image. Once you put that image there, you'll get room for the title, description, link, board, like the tag topic. You can do tags if you want to, and then it will be scheduling options for the date and time. First thing we need is an image. Where do I get my images from? Let me take you over to Canva. Okay, so here is my Canva account. I have all sorts of things here. I have multiple things going on in this Canva account. Previously, I would do what I called a template, and it would be a picture. Say a picture of like a pacifier, and then I would do a pin about taking away the pacifier, a pin about nighttime routine, a pin about 13 items you need from your baby shower. And I would use the same picture and I would change the words. I have since then changed it, and now I'm doing, this is an article number, article 182. So all the words are going to be the same, but I'm changing just the image and I'm just slightly moving the words. Like this one, I have that there versus I have it here. This one I moved as a busy mom up, and I can do more words. So this article on my blog is how I do YouTube as a busy mom. I wrote a whole article about it. Now I have that URL from my website. I create the pin image. You come up with some sort of short phrase to put on the pin to get people to then read the full article. That is what I have going on here. I'm trying to make pins fast and make them easy. I don't use AI for my pin creation. I do it myself. I also don't use templates like on the side here. Sometimes you can find templates for things. I actually like to create my own. Maybe templates would be better, but this is what I do. Now my images, like this image here, I get those right now lately from Pexels, where you can get stock photography for free. You can find other sources like Unsplash, and basically, I get free pictures and I try to change them up. Sometimes I will blur the background. I think this one here is a bit blurry. This one here has a little bit of blur because I want my words to pop. And then I also will try to alter them some, like zooming in or zooming out, whatever the case is, to try to not make them look the same as other people's pins that might have used this exact same image. Okay, so on a day, I made all 5 of these pins. I made them pretty quickly. They're all kind of similar. And on another day, I'll come in and make 5 more, and I'll write a different phrase into a different style of pin. So what I do then is I download the pins. So I'll hit share. I will download them, and you can download them one by one, download them all. I do a PNG. You'll hit done, download them, and essentially it'll be like a little folder or individually. What you can do is then just grab that download and you can drag it over to your desktop or wherever. This is where I drag mine to. So I have this little folder. It just sits on my desktop and it's my 2025 pins. I like to make them in bulk. So this 182 here matches this 182 here. And so I had 5 pins. Well, 3 of them I have used, 2 of them I have not. That's how I do it. So once I use them, I put them in the used folder. So once they're on Canva, I create them, move them over so they're ready to go. From there, they get used. So now let's jump back over into Pinterest. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this pin and I'm going to just drag it over here. And then now if I want to, I can go ahead and move that into my used folder. I'll get rid of that. I'm done with that for right now. Now, where do I grab all this info? So I could go to my website, look at the article, write a description, title it. I could use the same title as my article, but I like to do sometimes a little bit different. So I have a few title options. The URL, I could again go to the website and grab that, but I don't want to always do that. I don't always like logging in. So what I have is this Excel sheet, essentially. So this is where I track my articles. So I have a tab here, and this is a little bit of tracking them, like the title that gets published, the URL, like the date, the category, some of the links involved. That's more for my website. And then here I have for Pinterest, I have the actual title I used, which copied over. If you notice here, it's not the actual title. That's copied over from the other page. And then I'll usually copy it here so I can actually use it. And I'll have like maybe 3 more titles. So I pull these titles for Pinterest. I have the URL here for the article. You can grab that link, pull it over. And then I have about 5 pin descriptions. Now, as I use these, I delete them. So I'll end up with white spaces here. And then every so often I come in and I create new descriptions. I do it in bulk. I batch create. So I actually do use AI for the descriptions. I will give ChatGPT my article, like the URL. I will open it up, copy the article, put it in ChatGPT and say, hey, write me 5 Pinterest pin descriptions. I will then put them here. So now as I'm publishing my pin, it's super speedy. So let me quickly show you how I do that. I'm gonna just shrink this up a little bit. Okay, so this was article 182. I'm gonna grab this title right here and I'm just gonna do a nice copy and paste. Now I need to add the description. So I'm gonna get that description here, copy, paste. Then we need the URL again, and you can grab that here, copy, paste. Now that's all I needed from that other file. I will choose a board. So this is YouTube as a busy mom. So I'm gonna look for, we can hit that X there to get rid of that. I'm gonna look for work from home mom. That's the board it's now gonna go to. I don't really do tags. If you think I should be doing them, let me know. And then we are gonna schedule this out. I like to schedule my pins in the future. So we'll hit this and we're just gonna make this one go out on the 24th. This is just an extra pin. I already actually have April fully scheduled. Then from there, we are gonna hit schedule. It's gonna go April 24th at 11:30 a.m. I hit schedule. I watch over here. Sometimes it gets stuck at 50%. So let's give it a second. We're gonna go ahead and refresh and reload. Some days it goes well for me, some days it doesn't. Usually what happens is it'll save here. Now, if it's not saving here, I wouldn't do that because then you're making your pin twice. That's annoying. However, it saves as a draft, which is great. I just quickly look through, make sure everything is still the same, and then I will hit schedule again. And usually that second time it works. I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe my internet just kind of sucks, but ideally it will go through. And there it went through. All right, so that is awesome. If you want to verify a place where you can go and do that, your profile, these are your created pins. And now, like I said, I've got April already booked out. What day did we put that on? The 24th? Oh shoot, I already have that same pin going on the 24th. I want to change that. So let's see if we can do a little edit. We are going to change that date to the 12th. Now let's see if that worked. Hit done. Okay, now that one's on the 12th. Let's go look at the 24th and make sure. Okay, there's just the one on the 24th. See how I changed that and altered that? Super, super easy, user-friendly. Pinterest is not overly complicated to use. So a little more about Pinterest and how I use it. I do 2 pins a day. Like if you notice here, there's like 24th, 24th, 23rd, 23rd, 22nd, 22nd. I do a pin in the morning. I do a pin in the afternoon. I schedule them via Pinterest. You can do about a month in advance. It's somewhere between 28 and 31 days in advance. So like right now, I have April completely done because we're in April. I do 2 pins a day. I do different URLs. How do I keep track of the URLs? So on my little Excel sheet that I was showing you, which I will delete this one because I used that description. I do a fresh description every single time. I have this next tab down at the bottom and it is my pin scheduling. Let me zoom in just a bit here. Okay, so it's sort of a complicated system, but I have the months going across the top. I need to delete some of that old history, but let's just take January, which was 1 of this year. For article number 1, I used template 299. I've now changed that, and now my templates aren't by, I've now changed that in my Canva, like folders or files aren't by template, by picture, they're now by article. So I've changed my strategy there. I put the number of pins that I did that month. So in April, I did do 2 pins with this URL, how to sue the teething baby kind of thing. But most of the time I will do 1. Now the reason that I did 2 is I haven't created enough images yet. It does take time in Canva and I'm creating 5 at a time. So I'm going slower, but I'm doing bulk and batch creation. Okay, so if I take you back into this folder, notice there's a lot of numbers missing. Like we're 20, we're up to 30, 31, 32, 34, 37, 40, 42, 45, 50s, 60s, 70s. They're not all there. And that's just, I haven't had time to create them all. So that's what I'm working on, is getting from 1 to now, I think I'm at like 184, 186, and getting 5 pins for each one. Then when the month comes and I need to batch create, I have them available. So what I'll go through is I'll put 1s wherever I want to publish. I will then highlight it, and at the bottom, it'll give you a sum. And if the month has like 30 days in it, I want 60 pins. When I publish the pin, I will make it yellow. All right, that's how I do it. It's very, very simple. this works for me. After a while, I can erase this. The reason that I like to keep it though is I try to skip a month on the URLs. Like I'll try not to do this where I go back to back. I did it here, it is what it is, but I do try to skip where possible. Because if I'm only publishing about 60 to 62 URLs, I have 180. Why would I post them back to back? And then also with these titles, I do look at certain ones. For example, this one is a Father's Day idea. I only publish that on certain months. I will publish that in like March, April, May, and June, early June. I won't publish that in September. So sometimes it does matter what the title is and the topic because you want to publish it at an appropriate time of the year. Okay, so I do 2 pins a day. That's how I publish them. That's how I create them in the batch format. That's how I have their URLs handy, the titles handy, and those descriptions. I batch create them and I have them handy. So the day that I'm publishing, I'm not doing any creation. I'm just grab, publish, grab, publish. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about how I'm publishing, I would love to hear them, share them with others, and obviously I want to grow my account and do better. For now, if you're interested in Pinterest, this is how I do it, and yeah, I feel like I don't want to gatekeep because a lot of people do. Here you go. If you found this helpful, give it a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.